Right now, somewhere in Madrid, two young women are preparing for the biggest match of their lives, and almost no one believes they can pull it off. It's Saturday, April 25th, 2026, and the red clay of the Madrid Open isn't just a court today, it's a stage set for something special. At 5:20 p.m. local time on Court 7, a story is about to unfold that reminds you exactly why you fell in love with tennis. This isn't just another warm-up. It's not a minor note buried in the draw. It's a second-round women's doubles clash that has true tennis fans leaning in, fully locked. On one side stands an unseeded duo, the Philippines' Alexandra Eala, only 20 years old, alongside her partner Zeynep Sönmez of Turkey. Across the net, the challenge couldn't be bigger. The number 2 seeds, reigning champions of the California Desert and multiple Grand Slam winners, Townsend of the United States and Katerina Siniakova of the Czech Republic. If you're just catching up with the clay court season, here's exactly why this match is creating so much noise across the tennis world. Eala and Sönmez were not the names anyone had boldly circled on their prediction sheets when the tournament began. Sönmez came in with a doubles ranking of 498, while Eala, clearly on the rise, sat at 101. On paper, it looks like a clear mismatch. But tennis isn't played on paper. 2 days ago, in the opening round, they stepped onto the clay and completely dismantled the far more experienced duo of Fanny Stoller and Si Sue in a performance that made people stop and take notice. After losing the first 2 games, something shifted. They surged back, winning 6 straight games, converting all 3 of their breakpoint chances, and snatching the first set with authority. The second set was even more one-sided, 6-2, powered by a dominant 4-game run right from the start. The final score, 6-2, 6-2, wrapped up in just over an hour. That wasn't luck. That was a statement. But here's where it gets even more interesting. The story deepens, though, because just yesterday, under that same Spanish sun, Alexandra Eala stepped into the singles draw and ran straight into a wall. Belgium's Elise Mertens, the world number 21 and one of the finest doubles players on the planet, showed no mercy. She dispatched Eala 6-2, 6-1 in the round of 64, clinical, efficient, and brutally quick. For Eala, it stings. This marks her 3rd consecutive early singles exit on clay this season, following losses in Linz and Stuttgart. And defeats like that do something to a competitor. They either drain everything out of you, or they ignite something deeper. Everything we've seen from Alexandra Eala suggests it's the second. She's still here, still competing. And all that singles frustration now has a place to go, into this doubles match. That's exactly what makes her dangerous. So, who are they up against? If you could design the ideal modern doubles team in a lab, it would probably look a lot like Townsend and Katerina Siniakova. At Indian Wells, they captured the WTA 1000 title, and they did it the hard way, grinding through a brutal draw under relentless pressure. Townsend even missed her son Aiden's 5th birthday to compete and win that final. Think about that for a moment. That's not someone who shows up to coast. That's a competitor fueled by something deeper. Siniakova, a 10-time Grand Slam doubles champion, operates on a completely different level at the net. She doesn't just react, she anticipates. The slightest cues, hip angle, shoulder rotation, racket face. She reads it all in an instant and moves to intercept before her opponents even realize what's coming. Townsend, meanwhile, brings a dangerous left-handed game built to control the court. Her serve from the ad side pulls opponents wide into the doubles alley, opening up the middle for Siniakova to attack. At the net, her hands are incredibly soft. She absorbs pace and redirects it with a level of disguise that almost feels unfair together. They're not just a strong team, they're historically dominant. And yet, Eala and Sönmez are not walking in empty-handed. The first and most important factor here is Madrid itself. Sitting over 600 meters above sea level, the altitude changes everything. The air is thinner, the ball flies faster, and when it hits the dry clay, it jumps higher and quicker than on most courts. This isn't Roland Garros. It's not Rome. Madrid plays almost like a fast, hard court covered in red dust, and that distinction is massive for underdogs. On slower clay, Eala and Sönmez would struggle to hit through the defensive wall of Townsend and Siniakova. But in Madrid's conditions, the equation shifts. If Eala steps inside the baseline and strikes early, she can take time away from Siniakova at the net, compressing points before the defense has a chance to settle. Her compact swing is perfectly built for that kind of aggression. And then there's Sönmez, the true wild card. Ranked outside the spotlight in doubles, she's an unknown quantity. Townsend and Siniakova have little to no film on her, no clear patterns to study. That unpredictability? That's her weapon. Her role today is simple but critical. Stay fearless, stay aggressive, and force the favorites to react to her, not the other way around, relentlessly consistent. Deep, heavy returns aimed right at the feet of the server. Nothing floating, nothing sitting up for Siniakova to finish at the net. Sönmez will also need to mix in smart lobs, forcing the champions to retreat and turning rallies into baseline exchanges where youth and movement can actually become an advantage. That's the roadmap. It's narrow, but it's there. Tactically, expect Townsend and Siniakova to lean heavily on formations like the I formation and the Australian formation. The I formation, in particular, is designed to create uncertainty. Siniakova crouched at the center line, ready to explode left or right at the last second. For the returner, it's mental pressure. It tempts you into going for low percentage angles, trying to thread impossible passing shots. That's exactly where errors start stacking up. The smarter play? Down the middle. Keep it low, flat, and difficult to attack. The temptation will be to pull the trigger early, to go for something spectacular. The discipline will be resisting that urge and building the point instead. Psychologically, though, this is where things get really interesting. The pressure is flipped. Townsend and Siniakova are expected to win, cleanly, quickly, without complications. But if this match turns into a grind early, if the first few games become a battle instead of a routine, everything starts to shift games. If the unseeded pair manages an early break, just like they did in round one, the balance shifts immediately. Matches that are supposed to be routine can quickly become uncomfortable, even for the most experienced teams. Meanwhile, Eala and Sönmez are playing with house money. They've already secured over $31,000 in prize money, picked up 90 ranking points, and have zero expectations placed on them. That's a rare kind of freedom. No pressure, no fear, just pure tennis. And a competitor with nothing to lose? That's not just dangerous. It's unpredictable. There's also a physical layer to watch. Siniakova has dealt with leg issues in the past, especially when balancing deep runs across both singles and doubles. If Eala and Sönmez can extend rallies, stretch the match, and turn it into a physical, baseline-heavy battle instead of quick net exchanges, there's a small window that could open late, maybe in the second set. It's a long shot, but long shots do land from time to time. So when you strip everything back, the storylines, the emotion, the altitude, the tactics, what's actually going to happen at 5:20 p.m.? Realistically, Townsend and Siniakova should win this. The talent gap is real, and their ability to solve problems mid-match, adjust patterns, and execute under pressure puts them in control. But this isn't about what should happen. It's about what might shift gears from defense to offense in an instant. Their experience in high-pressure moments and the sheer number of solutions they bring into any situation make them overwhelming favorites. I expect the first set to be competitive. Maybe even a few early breaks traded, with Eala swinging freely and the Madrid crowd feeding off the energy. But once the champions find their rhythm on return and lock down the net, the margin for error shrinks dramatically for the underdogs. My prediction: Townsend and Siniakova in straight sets, something like 6-4, 6-2. But here's the part that matters beyond the scoreboard. When Alexandra Eala walks off that court today, she'll know exactly what it feels like to compete at the highest level of professional doubles. The pace, the pressure, the suffocating net presence of a 10-time major champion. That kind of experience doesn't disappear. She'll carry it into Rome next month, where the heavier clay suits her baseline game even more. And she'll take both the sting of yesterday's singles loss and the fire from today's battle with her into the summer season, stronger, sharper, and far more dangerous than before. This Madrid trip isn't a detour, it's a chapter in a story that's only just beginning. For Townsend and Siniakova, a strong win today isn't a statement, it's routine. They're using this clay swing to refine their chemistry, sharpen their formations, and quietly signal to the rest of the field that they're building towards something bigger. Indian Wells was only the start. Roland Garros is the destination. Every match between now and Paris is a rehearsal, and today's performance should be a polished one. Court 7. 5:20 p.m. Margins measured in millimeters and split seconds. That's what elite tennis comes down to, and that's exactly what we get to witness today.
Now I want to hear from you.
Do the altitude and the fearless energy of Eala and Sönmez give them a real shot at an upset? Or are Townsend and Siniakova simply operating on another level right now? Drop your score predictions and tactical takes in the comments. I read them all, and the debates always make this even better. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more throughout the clay season, from Madrid to Rome to Roland Garros, hit like and make sure you're subscribed. We're diving deep into every major storyline on the road to Paris, and you won't want to miss any of it. Until the next video, strings tight, footwork sharp, and enjoy every point.